Thank you for listening to Discovering the Scriptures with Dr. Peter John Parisi's. Currently, we are in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Reading from the King James Bible, quote, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times." Unquote. Reading from the Young's Literal Translation, quote, "And words as an adversary of the Most High it doth speak, and the saints of the Most High it doth wear out. And it helpeth to change seasons and law, and they are given into his hand till a time and times, and a division of a time." Unquote. Okay, I'm going to read this in the King James in the context, so that it's in the paragraph that is written. So that'd be Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, going through Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. King James Bible, quote, "Thus he said, The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times, and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." Unquote. Now, I think it's important that we go ahead and parse this whole verse out before we start looking into it. So let's look at the raw translation interlineal. "Of the Most High." Now that's an adjective masculine plural. "And the saints." That is a conjunctive adjective masculine plural. "He shall speak." Now that is a payal. It's imperfect third person masculine singular. So we are talking about a man. "Most High, thee." Now that is an adjective masculine singular determinate. So God is being referred to as a him. "Against." Now that's a preposition masculine singular construct. And "pompous words." A conjunctive noun feminine plural. "Into his hand." Now this is a feminine singular construct third person masculine. It's a preposition. "And the saints shall be given." Conjunctive. Now this is a hip pl. Conjunctive imperfect third person masculine. So it's talking about this is something that is done, and it's because of. "And law." Now there is right here conjunctive noun feminine singular times noun masculine plural. "To change" preposition verb hyphiel infinitive construct. So we're talking about something that's going to happen. "And shall intend" conjunctive. Now this is written in a quell, which is passive conjunctive imperfect third person. "And shall intend." So shall intend, so passively intend. So passively. "Shall persecute." Now this is a PL, imperfect third person masculine singular. "And shall intend and shall persecute." "A time." And that there is a noun masculine singular. And "have" conjunctive noun masculine singular construct. And "times" conjunctive masculine plural. "A time" masculine singular. So 4 is a preposition. So what we have here is, "shall change the laws of times to change, and shall intend to persecute." So he is going to persecute the saints passively. How do you passively persecute the saints? You must really sit back in your chair and laugh about that one. That's kind of weird. I'm going to look at this real fast. Okay, this is one of those wow moments. I just got it. That passively that Daniel wrote, it is about this person or kingdom, or who this king, this pope, this whatever this guy is. When he goes and think to change, that's a passive. He's passively thinking about changing the times and the laws. Does he do it? I don't know. He's passively thinking to change the times and the laws. Maybe, maybe not. But we do know he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Now that's an active one. Shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And passively to think to change times and laws. Does he do it? Probably. And they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of times. Amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at the cross-referencing of this verse. Okay, here we go. Now, we're looking at the phrase, he shall speak. Now remember, Daniel is writing in the Chaldean court language, the official language, up through chapter 2, up through the end of chapter 7. Then he goes back into Hebrew. So I don't think you can really look at he shall speak in the Hebrew language, but we can in the Aramaic Chaldee. So we're going to look at just those verses, because I think it's a mistake to look at it in the Hebrew. Chapter 7, verse 8, he writes, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Okay, so right now we have exactly what we have in the verse we're looking at. Let's go ahead and look at another verse that he wrote. Daniel 7:20, quote, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake great, very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. So again, yeah, he means the same thing as what we're reading here. We can't go any further than that because he's in the Hebrew, and nobody else writes in this language, so we can't look at any other writings. So I will go ahead and void out all that that we see in referencing material. All right, now we have the phrase and think. Again, same principle. Daniel 2, verse 21, quote, and he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. And think. I don't see where that one relates, because this one, and think, was written in passive, remember? But yet we have here, where it's in 2:21, where it says it relates, this is active. So I don't see where that one could possibly be used. You have to be very careful. Now, a time. What does Daniel mean with a time? Can we find anything there in his other writings? Well, we do have one that he wrote in Daniel 4:25 and then again 4:32. So we can get an understanding of what he means by a time. Quote, that they shall drive thee, he's talking about Nebuchadnezzar, from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will. Now Daniel 4:32, quote, and they shall drive thee out from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. Again, it's Nebuchadnezzar. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will. Unquote. So that's the only thing we have there of times. That's the only thing we have for cross-referencing in the Chaldean language. So, what do we have here? Well, I think it's pretty plain that we can pretty much look at this as definitely in the spiritual realm as what the popes did in the past, and maybe even today. He shall speak. Remember, great swelling things he shall speak. The Pope assumes that he's infallible. We know that's not the case. We've seen him screw up many times. So, especially with the handling of the priest molesting the young boys and not taking care of that, and with Pope John Paul um, trying to wipe out the Serbs and not, being impartial on both sides, and that took place in the 1900s. You should profess that he can forgive sins. No man can forgive sins. Jesus can, God can, but not no man. Shall open and shut heaven. Okay. Um, any Christian can do that through Jesus' name by God's will. Not singled out to one person on the earth. Because God said we would do great things and greater things than Jesus did on this earth. Thundering out bulls and anthems. So in other words, declaring what he can do. Excommunicating princes, absolving subjects from their allegiance, exacting obediency in their decrees. Okay, that stuff took place in all the history. We saw it amply in the 14, 15, 1600s, where there was the Inquisition, the killing of many, many people. We saw it again in times before that during the Crusades. It's just, they're not infallible. They've done terrible, terrible things. And they've had the Catholic Church do terrible, terrible things. They tried to keep us from having the English Bible because they thought that it was better in the hands of ignorant priests. Now he should wear out. Now, they're saying that by wars, crusades, massacres, and they talk about Revelation 6 and 11 and 13. I don't think so. I think he's going to wear them out differently, but that's a possibility. And think by appointing feasts and fasts and canonizing saints. Yeah, I think that that's possible because you get them in wrong thoughts. And it says a time, 3.5 years, reckoning 30 days, 1,260 days. I don't know if we can go that far. And they're relating back to Revelations 11, 12, and 13. I don't think we can go there. But, is this the Pope? I think there's a strong possibility that is very, very feasible. Is this the Antichrist on a man's level? Possibly this could be him also, where he takes what he has seen that happens in church history and utilizes it to his own benefit, making sure that he does what works and not what doesn't work. It could be. We could be looking at a dual thing like we did Kings and Chronicles. This could be on a spiritual level with the popes and the Christians, and this could be on a secular level, where the Antichrist takes from the history of the church and does what works and stays with what doesn't work. Could possibly be. The popes have given him ample information on how to do this properly and what to stay away from. Are they doing it today? Time will tell. Okay, so now what I think we need to do is take a look at, because we've parsed this out, let's go ahead and take a look at John Gill's commentary on the Bible on this thing and see what we can get out of there and see what the church fathers and history has provided on this commentary for us. Okay, reading from John Gill, quote, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, or at the side of the Most High, setting himself up as a rival, and upon an equality with him, taking the name and characters of holiness, infallibility, yea, of deity itself unto him, claiming the power to forgive sins, which is particular to God, and preferring his own laws, doctrines, and traditions over the Word of God." We know that was Catholic history, and still is. "And shall wear out the saints of the Most High by his wars with them, and murders and massacres of them, by taking away their lives and their substance, by lessening their number, by weakening their strength and power, wear them out, as a garment is worn out, as the word signifies, utterly consume and destroy them, at least in his own apprehensions, which will be the case when the witnesses will be slain in Revelations 11:8. and especially where we're out there patience, or however thoroughly exercise it. The word in the Arabic language signifies to afflict and handle roughly, and such usage the saints have met with more or less in all ages from the man of sin. Now, I want to take a footnote here. The Arabic might say to afflict and handle roughly, but we know that this verse, when parsed out in the original language, means quell. It means passively. So, is this afflicted and handle rough? Well, the Arabic has it, but no other translation that has it. So I would be very skeptical on that one. Let's continue. And think to change times and laws, to alter the forms and constitution of kingdoms, and the customs and usages of them, yea, to set up and pull down kings at pleasure. See Daniel 2:21, and that was when Nebuchadnezzar does that. Or to change the use of times and seasons by setting apart days as holy for canonized saints. Footnote. So we pray to saints? I don't think so. End of footnote. And appointing such days in a week and such a season in the year for abstinence from meat, and even to change the laws of God and man by dispensing with both and making new ones of their own. Footnote. We were warned not to do that. We're not warned not to take away from the word and not to add to it in the New Testament. So even a pope can't do that. So if he does, he's violating God's laws, and we are to not follow that. Let's continue on. And they shall be given into his hand, either the saints he makes war with and wears them out, who shall be overcome by him, or the times and laws which he shall not only have in his mind and purpose to change, but shall have it in his power to do so, and shall do it. Until a time and times, and the dividing of time. By a time is meant a year. The longest part of time by times 2 years, and the dividing of times half a year. In all, 3.5 years, which is the same with 1,260 days, or 42 months. The time of the witnesses prophesying in sackcloth, and of the reign of the Antichrist. So long shall he continue exercising his power and authority, his wrath and rage and blasphemy no longer. See Revelations chapter 11, verse 2. Reading this one from the King James Bible. But the court which is without the temple, leave out, measure it not, for it is given to the Gentiles, and the holy city shall be tread under foot 42 months. End of the footnote. Now, let's go back to John Gill, and let's end John Gill's commentary on this particular verse. This is amazing. I think we can see that there's a possibility of dual here. Dual like in spiritual, dual like in man. Like we did with Kings and Chronicles. Man's history and spiritual history. So I think we can see there's a possibility here that this could be something that the church has done and is doing, and also the last days with the Antichrist. It's possible. I think we should leave this open and leave this room for thought and for us to ponder. But now remember, I'm presenting these things to you. You make up your own mind. That was the whole purpose of discovering the scriptures. So you can make up your own mind, not me make up yours. But I'm looking at this like, wow, is this possible? Because I have really never given this much thought that there could be a dual here of past and future. I have no idea. I do find it amazing that in the last couple of weeks here, we saw a space hurricane, a space plasma hurricane moving around the North Pole that was there for 8 hours. If you haven't seen that, you might want to look up Space Hurricane on the internet and take a look at it. It's absolutely amazing what's going on. And does that have anything to do with the end times? I don't know. But it's amazing that these signs and wonders are taking place. So I don't know. But we'll see. But let's go forward because we need to continue. Remember that Daniel stops right in the Aramaic language in verse 28. Why? Well, we need to get through 3 more verses to find out why. And then he switches over to Hebrew. I'm fascinated to find out what goes on with this. So that's it. God bless you. If you like this, please hit the like button. If you have any comments you'd like to make, any prayer requests, please put those in. Also hit the subscribe button and the bell button if you haven't already done so you can go further with this. We are doing Daniel and Revelation side by side. A little caught up right now, but I will be spending days doing each one and shortly here. But give me some time. I have things going on. Thank you. Keep me in your prayers, please. And remember, please hit all the ads on my channel that you see to help support the ministry. God bless you. I hope you have a great day with the Lord.